During my final year at university, my old roommate moved out without warning. He graduated early and returned home to save money, leaving the apartment strangely quiet. The idea of a new roommate unsettled me. A stranger, someone sleeping just a few meters away. The very next afternoon, 3 firm knocks echoed through the apartment. When I opened the door, a man stood there, holding a single cardboard box against his chest. His hair was dark and unkempt, hanging low over his eyes, and his clothes smelled faintly sterile. Hello, I said. Can I help you? His voice was dry, almost strained. I'm moving in. Apartment 367. I hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, I'm Alex. Come in. He reached out his hand. It shook as he spoke. Name 7. As he stepped inside, a sharp chemical smell burned my nose. Bleach. Strong enough to make my eyes water. I gave him a brief tour of the apartment. It's not much, I said, trying to be polite. You can use anything in the kitchen. He didn't reply, just nodded slowly, his eyes tracking the room like he was memorizing it. I tried to make conversation, but Evan barely spoke. His silence felt heavy, deliberate. Feeling awkward, I left early for work. As I said goodbye, Evan lifted his hand in a stiff wave and smiled. The smile didn't touch his eyes. It looked delayed, like his face was remembering how to do it. I convinced myself he was just socially uncomfortable. That night, when I returned home, the apartment was completely dark. I assumed Evan wasn't there. I turned on the kitchen light and opened the fridge. Inside were multiple sealed packages of raw meat, stacked neatly, far more than anyone needed. As I stood frozen, I heard a low croaking noise coming from Evan's bedroom. I moved closer. The sound shifted, scraping, dragging. Then it intensified. My pulse spiked. I knocked on his door. Hey, everything okay in there? Silence. 10 seconds passed. Then Evan's voice came through, distorted. Yes. Just changing. I backed away and locked my bedroom door. For the first time ever. The next morning, Evan was gone. His bedroom door stood open. In the fridge, several meat packages were missing. I told myself he'd cooked during the night. Still uneasy, I approached his room. A metallic smell hung in the air. The room looked untouched, empty, except for the cardboard box, unopened. Then came a knock at the front door. My stomach tightened. I opened it slightly. Evan stood there. Beside him was a woman. I forgot my keys, he muttered, stepping inside. Thanks. This is my sister, he said. Lena. She raised her hand in a stiff, unnatural wave. She never spoke. Her eyes never left me. You didn't go into my room, Evan said quietly. It wasn't a question. No, of course not. He nodded and pulled her inside his bedroom. She stared at me the entire time. I left the apartment shortly after. That night at work, I told my coworkers everything. One of them grabbed my arm. This isn't normal, she said. Trust your instincts. She mentioned a missing student, police involvement, federal investigators. I barely slept. The next morning, I decided to request a roommate change. That evening, Evan knocked on my door. Can we talk? He sat on the couch, movements slow and precise. What keeps your life stable? He asked. My friends, my family. He watched me without blinking. Is that standard for humans? Cold ran through me. Before leaving, he turned back and said, We're friends, Alex, right? I nodded. The next morning, his door was open again. Something inside made a wet, dragging sound. Against every instinct, I looked. Something stood there, bent, struggling to pull Evan's skin over itself like clothing. The box lay open beneath it. It turned its head in a way no human ever could. I ran. At the housing office, the woman frowned at her screen. "Sir, no one was ever assigned to your apartment." The police came, then federal agents. They told me Evan had been reported missing before I ever met him. They asked about a woman named Lena. I don't sleep much anymore. Last night, the news confirmed it. They found Evan's body. His skin was gone,